The purpose of today is to understand why most people are never going to actually accomplish the goals that they say that they want to accomplish. If you can understand the reason why most people fail, then you can do the exact opposite, because it's just inputs and outputs at the end of the day. As a fitness coach, one of the number one reasons why I've seen people fail their fitness goals is because they self-sabotage. It boils down to the way that they talk to themselves, the way that they think about themselves, the way they think about their goal. They always say that they can't do it. Believe it or not, your thoughts will shape your personality, and your personality is your personal reality. So if you are constantly telling yourself that you are unable to do it, if you are constantly telling yourself that you are not good enough, or if you are telling yourself that you are stupid, you will eventually believe it. And at one point in my life, I was very depressed, and I had to pull myself out of it by changing the way that I talked to myself on a regular basis. It took me a very, very long time to pull myself out of it. But once I was able to, I now am able to look back and recognize, wow, I was really not in a good space. And it boiled down to the way that I was talking to myself. Especially when it comes to fitness, poor planning makes a big deal. If you just say that you want to lose weight or you want to build muscle, it's too vague of a goal. You need to be able to define your goals specifically using the SMART acronym. SMART stands for specific, measurable, actionable or attainable, realistic, and timely. Once you start defining your goal specifically, you realize that you need more time. Not giving yourself enough time to achieve your goal is one of the main reasons why people will feel like they failed. They just haven't done it yet because they haven't given themselves enough time. Again, boiling back to fitness and nutrition, because that's my expertise, if you want to lose weight, a safe rate of weight loss is 1% of your body weight per week. For larger individuals, you can get away with losing more because 1% of your body weight is a higher number. There are going to be setbacks along the way. It doesn't matter what you are trying to accomplish. And since you get setbacks along the way, you can't let your emotions cloud your decision-making process or your judgment. Going back to what I said earlier, it's inputs and outputs. If you are able to track all of the inputs, then you will be able to determine what the outputs will be. So don't just go mindlessly through life. You have to be aware of the type of content that you consume, the type of books that you read, the people that you spend around. You need to be paying attention to every single input in your life so that way you can determine what the output will be. You've heard the saying, you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time around. And it is absolutely true. If you spend time around people who smoke weed, you're more than likely going to smoke weed yourself. If you spend a lot of time around people who go to the gym, you're more likely going to go to the gym yourself. And since you run into setbacks along the way, no matter what your goal is, most people end up giving up at the first inconvenience, the first challenge. If you are able to push through the first challenge, you can push through any challenge along the journey. Life is going to be hard. No one said it was going to be easy. And if you think it's going to be easy, you're going to be hit in the face with a sore reality. If your goals were easy, then everyone would be doing them. Not everybody wants to do the specific things that you want to do. So set those lofty goals, then work backwards, create the SMART goal, and then don't give up at the first inconvenience. A lot of people end up getting shiny object syndrome. At the first inconvenience, they end up giving up and they go, oh my goodness, something else is going to make me rich faster. Or this new diet is going to be the ticket to me losing weight. Shiny object syndrome is one of the key pieces on why people end up moving on, because they think that they need something different. They think that they need something special, when in reality, you just need the basics done over and over and over again. You don't build a lot of muscle rapidly. It takes a very long time. So if you were to be jumping from different program to program, you're more than likely not going to be maximizing the amount of muscle that you can build. If your goal is to build a lot of wealth, then you need to be doing the basics of saving and investing for a very long period of time. The odds of you winning the lottery are extremely slim, 1 in a trillion in some cases. So when you run into those setbacks and you feel like you need to move on to something different, reassess your reason why you started. Not having a strong enough reason why can be one of the main reasons on why someone's going to give up. Your reason why needs to be so emotional. It needs to be so charged to where that way, when you do run into those challenges, you understand that you are doing it for a bigger purpose. For a lot of people in the fitness industry, you need to have a reason why that's 15, 20 years in the future, or have an example of something that you don't want to end up like. For some people, it's not wanting to end up like their parents or grandparents who are immobile and have comorbidities. But it needs to be so meaningful to you and you alone, because that's who you are going to be spending the most time with. And since you experience life is going to get busy at some point. And as a hint, it's always going to be busy. So if you say that life gets busy and you end up stopping your goal because life got busy, that's a poor excuse in my opinion. There are people working 3 jobs in order to try to put food on the table and while still going to school. Given the fact that you're watching this on a YouTube video, there are people out there that are probably in a very much worse position than yourself. So take some agency over your life and put the phone down on occasion and go outside. Take a moment and realize that life is always going to be busy. That's okay, because you can still control how you act. Going back to what I said earlier about giving up too soon because the first sign of inconvenience, or shiny object syndrome, having a lack of community is one of the things that can play a role in you giving up too soon. If you don't have a support system around you, that could be friends, family, or strangers online, but having that group of people to support you and lift you up is going to be one of the main reasons why you're able to push through and continue on your journey. Having those like-minded individuals is one of the best things that you can do, because you get to see the next level. You get to see the work ethic that some people have. And who knows, it might inspire you to take it to the next level for yourself. And this one is arguably the most important, going back to the very first one, the self-talk, the victim mentality. You need to be able to break through the victim mentality. And again, I was once in that. You'll hear people say the phrase, I can't catch a break. Yeah, everyone can't catch a break, man. When you start blaming other people or other situations for your outcome specifically, that is the direct result of the victim mentality. Nothing is ever your fault. It's always somebody else's fault. The reason why you are overweight is because of some other reason, not your own doing. The reason why you don't have enough money is not because of the job that you're working or the route that you decided to take. It's because of some other outside source. If anybody in your life starts saying, I can't catch a break around you, I strongly encourage you to step away from that situation and separate yourself. Because again, it goes back to, you are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So if you are always around people who say, I can't catch a break, you're more likely to say it too. At the end of the day, all that matters is you make the effort for 1% improvement every single day, because you're not going to see crazy huge growth rapidly. It's the little changes over the course of a year that's going to make the largest difference. And it all boils down to making the conscious effort around the correct decisions that allow you to take one step closer towards your goals each and every day.